Flawless. Dang. There you go. Okay, that's pretty good. So, oh man, that lag is painful. For some reason that happens. I don't know why, but. So that's your time machine, and as you can see, it just spits out a bot that did exactly what you did in the past, which is cool. So here, for example, I need to time out how long I'm going to spend walking down there. So I have to hold these gates open for long enough. But obviously I can't see what I'm going to do in the future, so I just need to kind of pray that it works. And does it work? Of course it does, because I'm the GOAT. That's why. Look at that. I gave myself plenty of time, actually. That could have actually been way faster, but I'm in no rush here. At the life, I'm always in a rush. So this is a box. You can pick it up and use it to jump off your past self and that type of thing, or you can put it on buttons. And there's actually different types of box jumps, like different ways for you to jump on the box, but I'll get into that later because it's more applicable in the future. That is one instance of that, but it's not super vital. So I won't be interacting with boxes very much for a little bit. So there's a timer on the bottom right that I'm using a lot during this run that lets me know when I should do certain things, which is extremely good. So for example, here I know that I have to jump off at 2.5. Here again, 2.5. Whoops. Okay, this is probably a good time for me to explain how moving in the past works. So the way that this game tracks your movements is by tracking your keyboard inputs instead of where your bot is actually positioned. And that means you can actually affect the past without causing, you know, like a game crash or a paradox, which is a way to die in the game. So since it only tracks your keyboard movements most of the time, I'll explain the exception later. Affecting your past is extremely important and also extremely good for speedruns in certain scenarios, and also an intended feature, as there's a level called Changing the Past. So there's going to be an instance of that coming up, but first there's going to be a really cool level immediately after this one. That's going to be sort of one of the ways you can skip, you know, using multiple bots. That's an optimization. So here you're supposed to use multiple bots to make these things, these levers or whatever they're called, these gates on the right, make them open faster. But if you're fast enough, you can just press all the buttons in one go. So here's an example of changing the past. So here I'm waiting, and this that I'm standing on right now is actually going to lift. So that way that jump there is going to end up being way bigger in the future. So here's me now lifting my past self. I'm jumping off. Now that lets me use this seesaw to get way up there. And look at that. Affecting the past, isn't that cool? So this level, oh man, this level is super precise. So you're supposed to use that button at the top right to open another thing at the left that lets you jump super easily and get this skip circuit. But if you actually use two bots on the right, like I'm doing now, and if you time your jump here just right, not like that, if you jump off the very left part, you can just barely reach that. And that is tough. Okay, you remember that one exception I was talking about just a second ago? This is it now. So this is a pause circuit, and it pauses time. So that means that I can do whatever I want during this pause time, and that teleports me basically to there. Because obviously if you pause time and then you do things and then you end up somewhere else, you just basically skip to there. And that's super useful. But one interesting thing you can do, like what I'm doing right now, is if you grab the pause circuit, sorry, let's do it again. If you grab it here, then you exit the level, you can actually keep it into the next level. And that's super useful because here you can jump off this gate. And for example here, I can use this to make my past self collect this skip circuit right here. So if I pause and go to this button, it'll lift this platform. I'll be able to jump up and collect my stuff in the past, which is super interesting. So the pause circuit is going to be a major part of this run. For example, right here. What did I already explained? Sorry, I already explained that the pause circuit teleports you basically wherever you need to be. So it's going to be super useful here because I can get to this button, hold it for a bit, and then basically teleport back. And that means that the only thing limiting the speed of this level is how fast I can do, you know, this part now. I'm limited only by this speed right here. And then occasionally there's regular levels like this one. There actually is a way to use a pause circuit to do faster things here, but I don't know how to do it because it's hard. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. But I do need to be careful here because jumping off of this button, since you can press it, that red button, I need to make sure that I time my bots pretty precisely so that we can all kind of be close enough together but not mess each other up. Just like that. Good. And this is a major example of a pause glitch. So this level, you're supposed to go and do a bunch of stuff to open that top left chamber, and there's a pause circuit under there, but you can just bring it from the old level and use it to skip the whole level. Same thing here. Well, actually not the same thing here. This one, there's just a platform, and if you jump off the very left tip of that, I don't think that's gonna work, then you can use your pause circuit to just keep that platform up indefinitely. This is another useful one. This is kind of a cool one. So kind of some weird movements going on here, but what's going on? I'm waiting here, so I can just barely get up, open this gate, then one of my future selves is gonna use, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, I might as well just show you. I'm jumping here, jumping off this moving gate, and then I'm being dropped back under. So lots of future planning in this run, which is super interesting. Now there's this one. This is going to be kind of weird to explain. So right now I'm going all the way to the right. It may not look like it, but I am. I'm lifting the platform. Now I'm waiting for it to go back down. I'm teleporting back to the platform. Sorry, back to the time machine. So now I'm waiting here. I'm getting on this platform that's lifting. I'm jumping off, and now I'm pressing the top button. I'm waiting for a little bit, and then I'm jumping off and getting back into the time machine. So now you'll get to see actually exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll actually get to see it live, because I am now at the point where it's the current moment. That may have been cutting it a little close, but that's fine. Actually, I think I was pretty generous with the rest of my time. Yep. So now this is the bot that actually gets to collect it. Bang! There you go. Okay, I barely made that work. Look at that. This is another one. So you remember those different box jumps that I was mentioning? I don't remember actually if I did mention it or not, but grabbing a box is very interesting in this game because if you hold it and then jump, you get a normal jump height. But if you jump and then grab it, you still get the full jump height, which is not intended. So just like that, and I can use that to get a midair jump here. Oh my god, okay. I barely made that work. Now here I'm walking all the way to the left because I can move these smashers in my future. And then grab this, teleporting now, because it doesn't track my movements mid-pause and it just teleports me back to the end of where I paused. What do you know? Super useful. Glitch? Bug? I don't know which one it is, to be honest. Even a level like this has an optimization. So you're supposed to climb all 3 blocks, but if you time it correctly, you can just do that. And skip all of them. Sorry, I can't really talk much during this one because this one's kind of timing focused. Okay, I might be cutting it really close here. I need to get to this platform because I'm pressing this button in my past. There you go. Okay, I'm good. Now this one, this level is so interesting. You're supposed to do a bunch of stuff to... Wow, that was insane. Sorry, that was insane. You're supposed to... You do a bunch of stuff, but if you stack... If you stack those boxes, you can just clip through that gate. Wow, I'm sorry, that is insane. I've never gotten one that fast. That was not even intentional. There's actually a way to do that way faster, which is... Ignore that. There's a way to do that faster, which is by using a pause circuit. Oh my god, what am I doing? By using a pause circuit. Oops. But it's extremely inconsistent, so would not recommend. I'm still occasionally practicing it, but I don't really know how to do it that well. This level's super weird right here. So if you press this button on the left, it drops a cube that like starts crushing in from the sides. This is the button that kills you right there. But using a pause circuit there to skip everything, super useful. You can jump off the box while it's falling, quote unquote, but you're paused so it doesn't matter. And then if you unpause in time, since you can't pick up a skip circuit while you're paused, then you can unpause while you're in the air, while you're jumping up, because you get to keep your momentum, and you're set there. Okay, this might be a little... Nope, we're good, we're good. Dang, man. Alright, this is the last level that I get to use the pause circuit in. That's... well, that I get to use the pause circuit in. There's like a glitch for the level 34, but I don't really know how to do it, because it's pretty hard. Jeez, man, I'm throwing. What is happening? There you go. That button is pretty inconsistent, so kind of important you get good timing there. Because pressing that seesaw at a weird time can just make it like retract for no reason, and there's a million other things that can happen. Okay, but that's not supposed to be one of them. Okay, this one is going to be really hard to explain, so I think it's better if you just watch what happens, because there's this set of crushers and stuff, but I'm like planning for what's going to happen to them, and I don't really know how to explain it. But these crushers work by this seesaw, which I'm going to put these two blocks on. Just like that. Bang. Last level. This is another one of those just sit back and relax while I play the game type levels. And I guess I'm supposed to say and time at the end of it, right? I will say one thing, is that this one is very timing focused. So, I need to make sure that I just very carefully step off of this button exactly when it turns 8. That's probably cutting it a little close, TBH, but... Where's my sounds? Because once I hit this laser, this platform at the bottom right is going to start moving, and I need to catch it just after. Bang! 1424. Look at those gold splits, man. My sum of best is 1311. That's crazy. Anyway, that's technically a new PB. So if I don't get any better times tonight, I'm submitting this. Actually, I'm just going to submit this. I tried my best to talk about everything. Expect improvements. I'm going to practice. Yeah, it still puts me at second because I believe the world record's 14:14. I'll have to verify that, but cool. Let's do it again, shall we?